Hi, welcome to our ProAV Academy series on tech terms, where we sit down with Alister Chapman and chat through some of the technical terms that just come up again and again in this industry. Alister is one of the best people I know at explaining complex technical concepts, so hopefully, just by casually chatting with him each one of these terms through, these videos can just help clear up some of the confusion that might be out there on each of these terms. Today we're talking about chromatic aberration, when you might see it and how to avoid it. So another very common issue that's created by lenses is chromatic aberration. What do we mean when we say chromatic aberration? What does that look like?
So chromatic aberration, as you say, is very common, and it occurs because when light passes through glass, it bends by different amounts depending on the wavelength of the light. Okay. So a lens made out of just ordinary glass will only ever be optimized for the middle of the visible spectrum, sort of green light. Mm-hmm. When we get towards the blue or the red end of the spectrum, the light's going to bend by a different amount. So we're using that glass in the lens to bend the light anyway, to focus it onto our sensor. So there's all the complexities of that going on. But the problem is that the red end of the light will be bent by a different amount to the blue end of the light. So what you end up with is your areas of sort of high contrast and detail, which is largely going to come from sort of the green in the middle of the spectrum. So that you're sort of, let's say you're shooting a fence against a white or bright background. That's the middle of the spectrum, but some of the light in that image at the far ends, the red and the blue, isn't quite focused as precisely. So what you see is either a red or a blue edge around your high contrast areas, which is that slightly defocused red and blue light at either ends of the spectrum. Whether you get red or blue depends on the design of the lens and how that individual lens has been designed. So it depends. Lens manufacturers now go to great lengths to try and combat this, because it's not a pretty looking thing. Sure. By using all sorts of concoctions and mixes of different types of glass. So you might use a standard shot glass for most of the lens, and then they use these elements made out of fluoride or different other types of glass that have the opposite refractive index. So the first element, the red light might be bent one way a little bit, and then the next element it's bent back again. And by combining all these different elements, they can minimize the effect. It's virtually impossible to totally eliminate it, especially in a zoom lens, because the elements all move relative to each other in a zoom. So it is really difficult to get rid of. And a lot of what you're paying for when you buy expensive glass is the ability of the glass to cancel out and neutralize these differences in the bending of the light in that lens.
Thanks for watching, I hope that was helpful. Keep in mind, we also do a whole range of ProAV Academy workshops held right here in our UK showroom, where we cover a whole range of topics, from audio to post-production, camera techniques, business tips, lighting tips, and many more. The main aim of these workshops is to help our customers learn and develop their skills. And there's something about face-to-face training which can just never be replaced by videos like this one. So if you're in the UK, please do get a ticket from the link down below and join us for ProAV Academy.